Welcome, everyone. My name is Allison Merker-Garner, and this video is on where are your eyes? So one of the things that I've trained in is neuro-linguistic programming. And one of the things about it is how our brains function differently depending on where we place our gaze. So this will not be a long tutorial on that, but it is something that you can use in your practice and your own experiencing of the things that you do to play a little bit with how the focus of your eyes and where you focus your eyes can change your experience. So, for example, if we roll our eyes to the ceiling, we're activating a part of the brain waves that support ease, creativity, openness to thinking. If we place our eyes to the left or the right, we're actually activating our aural memory or awareness, depending on which side of the brain is taking over. So if you're a musician, it's kind of an interesting thing, isn't it? If you're trying to recreate a melody, if you're trying to play something that you've memorized, where are you placing your eyes? Is an interesting experiment, isn't it? You want to activate the part of the brain that's connected most with your listening. If you're looking up and to the sides or down, that too can change your experience. A lot of times when we look to one side, we're thinking in terms of language. And when we look the other way, we're actually thinking in terms of imagery. Watch your students. If your students gaze up at the ceiling when they play, if they're always looking down, that can be good information for you. They're looking up, they're actually doing something unconsciously, I'm sure, that helps them to think and to play and to function. So looking up may look funny when they play, and it may not be something that you want to always encourage, but understanding that it's not just a random thing is important. If you've got students that are looking this way, they're searching for words or imagery. That's an interesting thing too, because as musicians, when is that going to happen more? When we're trying to learn how to read, note reading, we're thinking of symbols. And so we may go like this, or you may see your students doing that to try to retrieve that information either through a picture or through a word or through the symbol. And what that would be the picture, wouldn't it? And then the aural, I've already mentioned about memory work. Where you put your eyes, it's really important. And when you practice, you can experiment with that. You can experiment with where you place your eyes when you play. In my third pillar of musical minds, I call that flower, which involves flow, freedom, love, oneness, and wonder. And then R, which is resilience. And the part of flow that involves resilience is doing the exercises and the play the playful experimentation of playing under certain circumstances or in certain kinds of interruptions or disruptions in your playing. So placing your eyes in a different place may be really uncomfortable to you. You may be really used to having them be a certain way. But if you start experimenting with that, you'll find that certain placement of your gaze will create a different experience in your body. And that's healthy. And when you're in a performance, that makes you more flexible in the moment, because you can place your eyes somewhere else or move them and feel an immediate response to that. So I just wanted to share with you that challenge to just, where are your eyes? Where are your students looking when they play? When you ask them a question, where are they looking? Right? These are things that are really useful in being able not only to be more flexible in the moment, but also to get some insight into what part of the brain you're using or your students using. And if you know that, you can speak to it, or you can challenge it to use in a different way. So if you've got an imagery child, you may want to try language. Speak to their left side of the brain rather than the right side of their brain. Or if you want to support them in the way they naturally take in information and think about it, then you can create that along with how they listen. So these are just ways of shifting your perspective in what you do and in how you perform that can create more resilience in the moment and deeper learning.